Hey, how you doing? This is Carl of Repairs Universe. We're going to be reassembling the LG Optimus VU. Parts you need today is a T4 screwdriver, fine point tweezers, one metal plastic sponger tool, and one small Phillips screwdriver. You can find these on our website at repairsuniverse.com. We have all your parts and necessities. With the LCD, you're going to actually pop in the back side with the flex cable overlapping the bottom buttons. Take your time right here, guys. Go smooth and slow. You're going to see that extra little flap. That guy is going to slide right in there. Just jimmy himself in there and it will slide right onto, in particular, of that back side. Once you have them in place, make sure you have your corners because there is 4 little metal flaps over the LCD that's going on there like you see below. Once you have them in place, go ahead and make sure your LCD is completely level. You can push down your flex cable of the LCD connector. Make sure to wipe off your LCD or your digitizer before you put in your new ones or your reassembly. Make sure it's completely smudge free, there's no little dust or little fingerprints. You don't want to put it together and end up seeing a huge thumbprint right in the middle of your LCD. Once you get them taken care of, you see the digitizer flex cable actually goes right above the LCD connector as you see before you. Take your time and it will basically slide in, particularly at this little slot that's designed for it. Once you have them in, you notice that you actually need a button. Your button is right below you, and you're gonna go ahead and grab that guy. There's only one way to put him in there, guys. Just make sure he's facing outwards. Do not place him inwards, or you'll break the button power connection. Go ahead and slide him in place. Once you have him in place, you're gonna basically set your phone up so your motherboard or your back door can actually slide itself into the digitizer. You're going to feel a little snap. Once he's snapped into place, you actually can clip all around the corners. Test your button. Make sure you do get you hear the clicking. Once you hear the clicking, you know he's securely in place. Great. Once we have them in place, there's going to be 4 screws we actually need to pop on for the LCD connector. Here are those 4 little screw spots that you need to basically pop that LCD connector back into place. I'm going to speed it up a little bit for you. Once you have them in place, we'll go ahead and now set up for the connection piece so we know where we're going with. This is the bottom speaker set. Make sure it's securely in there and you know where it's going. Do not force anything. Again, that little power connection's on 2 little cables that need to be soldered. Do not break those connections. The camera goes on the top left. Make sure you have the flex cable pointing from the left, your left, the phone's right. Once he's out of the way, make sure your LCD connector flex is pushed down securely on the bottom. You can use additional adhesive if you need to. For the volume buttons, that actually slides in between the little phone casing. It has its own little window that it needs to go into. Once you put any of these flexes into its particular set, test the buttons. Make sure they're clicking. Make sure they're working. If you don't, how do you know it's going to work? Make sure they're clicking. On the motherboard, you're going to work around the front-facing camera, the power connection, the back-facing camera, the button flex, and the audio jack. Once you have those out of the way, the motherboard will slide perfectly into place. Once you have them in place, go ahead and start snapping down your flex jawbones. Once you have those flex buttons down, make sure the phone's eye level flatness. Don't make sure if there's any little bumps, make sure none of your screws got connected within the motherboard because it is magnetic. Screws like to connect to the motherboard. make sure they're good. Once you have them in place, you're going to work on the bottom left of the speaker thing. You'll notice this by the hole in the middle that fits perfect for the power button, as you see as I'm showing you. Flip them around, you're going to notice the black side facing up. Once he has the black side facing up, you know you're going to go in the right general area where he goes. Battery goes in particularly as you see before you, and there's only a couple ways they do it. Snap him in there, and you notice everything's flush, smooth. Go ahead and pop on your antenna on the top right side. Careful, do not over snap it in, and just go smoothly and possibly easily. Fix a little design where it needs to go. Alright guys, we're almost done. Let's go ahead and show you, this is all the screws that you're going to be pumping in now. I'm going to show you a little diagram just in case if you lose space. If you did, go ahead and hit pause right now and you can go ahead and finish the video because I'm going to do a little fast forward to make it a little bit easier. Once you get the bottom screws on the main speakerphone, the back door little flex, I kind of made it a little bit more hard for you, or a little bit more easier so you can watch. You'll notice it doesn't actually snap in perfectly. You just got to work around the edges. It will work itself in and go perfectly flush to the phone. Some of the connection pieces will not snap perfectly in. You just have to wiggle it around. It will go in. This is manufacturally built this way. Once you have them perfectly in there or flush or smooth, not worry about it. If you have a little bump, open it back up, take it back apart, and see if there's maybe a screw gut in there, a little piece of plastic, a little piece of wood, something that shouldn't be there that's in there. Again, these are the screw spots that you do need to have them in there, and you should have no extra screws. Alright guys, this is the back door. We're looking very smooth now. We're going to basically start with the bottom. You see the teeth right here, the marks, those go in, covered it perfectly. Work from left to right or right to left. It really, your call on this one. Just make sure you don't break the snaps. Once you have it all snapped in place, if you have any little problems you can work out, you can actually pull this guy out. This is where the SD card reader is. You can pull him out so it can go a little bit better. Alright guys. Bottom is the last two screws we need is the T4 screws. You're going to go ahead and screw those T4 screws right on in there. That's one, and then you have a second one too. Once you have that done, go ahead and try the power button. Power doesn't kick on, do not freak out. Go ahead and throw it in the charger. It will kick the battery and it will kick onto the LCD. That's it guys, you reassembled the LG Optimus VU. Congratulations. If you found this helpful, go ahead and click subscribe. And go ahead and click like if you did find this guides helpful. You guys have a great day. Bye.